Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel.
Kody Brown was seen refusing to pay child support while operating a convertible vehicle. Fans are consistently let down by Kody Brown's bold disregard for his obligations. Since the family breakdown, he has been living with his only surviving wife, Robyn Brown, and their 5 children with pride. The Sister Wives star frequently gave the impression that he was not present for his elder children. Kody did not pay child support or act as a father to his other children. Meri, Janelle, and Christine, his original spouses, were never treated with much deference by him. In addition, the reality TV personality neglected his other kids in favor of Robyn and her children. Kody always had the resources and time to maintain his favorite wife and his lavish lifestyle. But when he was seen driving his convertible, fans chastised him. Now, where is he? Why are his fans so angry? With a significant career update, Kody alludes to the cancellation of Sister Wives. Kody Brown, star of Sister Wives, entered the spotlight to discuss his life with his 4 wives. They proudly displayed their large family on televisions after welcoming several children. The family has been split up, though, and things aren't the same anymore. Now, Kody is by himself with Robyn Brown, his 4th wife, and their children. In the last few years, he experienced 3 consecutive breakups. As a result, before he released a huge update, viewers were already making assumptions about the show's future. The reality TV personality revealed his next program with Fox, a rival network. Kody is probably going to be on Special Forces, World's Toughest Test, where competitors train hard to the limit of their abilities. Viewers questioned if the show was going to finish. The network doesn't have any new storylines to cover in upcoming seasons, so most were relieved. Kody was criticized for his extravagant lifestyle when he fled his responsibilities. Kody Brown enjoys flaunting his opulent lifestyle on television. A lot of his kids also said that he and Robyn, his favorite wife, are compulsive shoppers. The TLC star's interests in cars, houses, and even gambling have been spotted by fans throughout the years. Fans aren't given much details regarding Kody and Robyn's lives. However, they make care to show off their new assets and investments. Kody was recently seen in Arizona at a petrol station. He was showing off his blonde curls and topping up the tank of his Mercedes-Benz convertible. Robyn grabbed the wheel while the Sister Wives star enjoyed a healthy moment with his daughter, Ariella. Solomon, the son of Kody and Robyn, was also in the back seat. As a result, one Redditor posted the image along with his most recent update. But when the majority of the fans saw Kody's brand new white convertible, they were shocked. 18 kids, 13 of whom he ignores financially but still has the money for a convertible Benz, one fan commented. He was criticized by another user for showing off his new buy while talking about child support or his other children. The TLC star's new life with Robyn and their 5 children left many fans feeling sorry for the children he left behind. Very nice car for someone who wouldn't pay child support, another commenter said. How do you feel about the most recent news from Kody? Tell us what you think below. To learn more about Kody and Robyn's lives, keep checking TV season and spoilers. In the preview, Kody Brown of Special Forces takes a beating. Kody Brown loses in the Special Forces preliminary. Special Forces is having a big season because married couples and mother-daughter pairs are vying to reach the end. Kody Brown, the patriarch of Sister Wives, will also test his tolerance. The public has long demanded that he and his spouse, Robyn Brown, leave reality TV. However, he gets to demonstrate his toughness this time. Naturally, supporters expect that he will be made to answer for all of his mistakes. All of that will be revealed when the popular Fox series' 4th season premieres. Kody competing in a range of tasks and probably getting his tail thrashed is something that fans may anticipate. Kody may be seen falling backwards from a bridge in a new teaser for the show, which returns on September 25th. After that, he is wearing a helmet and is being severely beaten. It's unknown whether it was done by a co-star or a key figure in control. However, former star Tom Sandoval wound up with a bloodied face from doing this kind of thing. After all the suffering Kody has caused his ex-wives and kids, this is probably what fans want to see happen to him. Kody Brown will be put to the test by special forces, who won't hold back. It will be his responsibility to finish the work or to give up. One fan commented on his prospects when he was cast as follows. Even staying in a camper was impossible for the man. This is not going to go well, in my opinion. This is going to be epic. Teresa Giudice, the original Real Housewives of New Jersey, is one of the strong personalities that Kody Brown will be facing in special forces. If someone tries to take her away, she will fight back, and Kody might be that someone. He and his co-stars are told that they could die as they tumble backwards off a bridge in the promo. Brittany Cartwright, star of The Valley, starts crying as a result. Once more, people can only leave if they so desire or if they are too hurt to stay. Because he will be on it, some viewers are now boycotting this season. However, it might be popular if they continue to play clips of him being destroyed. Robyn Brown's living room, a space often designated as the family's de facto mediation chamber, was already thick with the unspoken grief of a collapsed dynasty when Kody Brown, a man whose once boundless energy had curdled into a perpetual, simmering rage, decided to pour gasoline on the dying embers of his longest marriage. What began as yet another circular, soul-crushing discussion about COVID protocols and perceived slights, a well-worn groove on a broken record that had been playing for 2 years, catapulted violently into a point of no return, a verbal execution of a 32-year relationship that left Meri Brown eviscerated, Kody exposed as a hollowed-out shell of a man, and Robyn, the purported architect of this entire reality, not triumphant, but utterly, genuinely, and completely shocked. This was not a fight, it was an autopsy performed on a still-breathing patient, and Kody, with cold, surgical precision, laid bare every rotting organ of their union, leaving nothing but a corpse of shared history on the floor between them. For Meri, this confrontation was the tragic culmination of a decade spent wandering in a desert of emotional neglect, a woman perpetually holding on to a frayed rope at the other end of which Kody had long since let go. Her every attempt to connect, to obey the ever-shifting rules, to court him as he had bizarrely demanded, had been met with a dismissive shrug or a look of pure contempt. She entered that conversation with the desperate hope of a final, clarifying confrontation, a chance to either find a path back to some semblance of a marriage or to finally receive the definitive closure he had always denied her. She was a supplicant begging for a single scrap of validation from a king who found her very presence distasteful. Kody, however, was not there for clarity or closure, he was there for a final purge. Fueled by a toxic brew of resentment over the failed catfish saga, which he wore as a permanent badge of victimhood, absolving him of any prior wrongdoing, and a festering anger over what he perceived as Meri's disloyalty during the pandemic, he was a coiled snake waiting to strike. His rage was not hot and explosive, but cold, calculated, and terrifying in its absolute finality. He saw this not as a painful conversation with his wife, but as a long-overdue lecture to a disobedient subordinate. The explosion was not immediate. It was a slow, brutal detonation, building from the petty kindling of vaccine debates and moving into the deeper timber of respect and loyalty. And then, Kody found his sledgehammer. He looked directly at Meri, the woman he had legally married first, the woman who had borne his first child, and with a chilling lack of emotion, he declared that her mere presence was a distraction to the family he actually wanted to build. He articulated, in terms so brutally clear they sucked the oxygen from the room, that he had no intention of ever resurrecting a marital relationship with her. He was not just rejecting her present, he was erasing their entire past, reducing 3 decades of shared life, struggle, and love to an inconvenient distraction. The cruelty was in the clinical delivery. This wasn't a man losing his temper, it was a man reading a verdict he had written long ago. Meri, ever the pragmatist even in her agony, tried to steer the conversation toward practical solutions, a pathetic attempt to find some utility in the rubble, asking what role she could possibly play if not that of a wife. Kody's response was the coup de grace, a blank, empty stare and the silent, deafening answer of nothing. She could play the role of nothing. She was, in his eyes, already nothing. The visceral impact on Meri was horrifying to witness. The camera captured the exact moment his words hit her like a physical blow, the sharp intake of breath, the eyes glazing over with a pain so profound it seemed to short-circuit her nervous system, the slow collapse of her posture as if her skeleton had just dissolved. This was the moment the last flicker of hope died. This was not another argument, it was the final, unambiguous confirmation that the man she had given her entire life to not only didn't love her but held her in active contempt. She had been publicly dismantled, her dignity stripped away layer by layer until only a raw, exposed nerve remained. She was a ghost at the feast, finally being told by the host that her phantom presence was ruining the party for the real guests. And through it all, there sat Robyn, the silent witness, the supposed queen of Kody's heart, the woman often blamed by the fandom for the systematic alienation of the other wives. Yet, in this pivotal moment, her reaction was not one of victory or smug satisfaction. It was one of pure, unadulterated shock. Her trademark performative tears were absent, replaced by a wide-eyed, stunned silence. She physically recoiled as Kody's vitriol reached its peak, her hand fluttering to her mouth as if to stifle a gasp. This was not part of the script she had imagined. She had long positioned herself as the family's empathetic peacemaker, the one who kept sweet and urged the others to do the same for the sake of the family. She had, perhaps naively or narcissistically, believed that Kody's issues with Meri were manageable, that they could all continue to play their parts in the plural marriage pantomime indefinitely. She never expected, nor perhaps ever wanted, to see the mask slip so completely. She was forced to witness the true nature of the man she was tethered to, a man capable of such breathtaking cruelty, such absolute emotional annihilation. In that moment, the shocking realization likely dawned on her: if he could do this to Meri, a wife of over 30 years, what foundational rot lay beneath his charming facade? What guarantee did she have that his favor was permanent and not merely conditional on her continued compliance? Her shock was the dawning horror of someone who realizes they are standing on a cliff that is already crumbling beneath their own feet. The aftermath of this explosion was a desolate landscape. For Meri, it was the painful but necessary liberation of total annihilation. There was nothing left to hope for, no more rope to hold on to. The finality of Kody's words, as devastating as they were, granted her the freedom to finally, truly leave. She had her answer. For Kody, it was the pathetic spectacle of a man who had confused domination for strength. He walked away believing he had finally laid down the law, but he had only succeeded in revealing the black hole where his heart should have been, proving himself to be not a patriarch but a petty tyrant burning his own history to keep himself warm for a night. And for Robyn, the shock was a prison sentence. She was left sitting in the wreckage, the chosen one, now utterly alone with the man she made her god, forced to live with the knowledge that his love was conditional and his cruelty was limitless. She was shocked because she finally saw the monster she had enabled, and in that moment, she understood that in a world where Meri could be deemed worthless and discarded, there were no winners, only future casualties. The fight was fierce not because of its volume, but because of its absolute, unforgiving truth, and it left everyone, especially its silent architect, shattered in its wake.